Good morning. It is Sunday, February 20th, 5:35 in the morning. Thanks a lot for checking up on me, getting some energy in the morning. I'm trying to stay consistent as ever. I haven't missed 2 days in a row. I've missed single days a bunch of times this year already, and I just don't know what it is. But anyway, I'm not gonna dwell too much on it. We're here, we're getting some exercise, and I appreciate you coming and clicking on this thumbnail. Hopefully you can get some insight into what I'm thinking, what I'm going through, what I'm getting out of life versus getting through life. It is Sunday, which means tomorrow it's a big day as far as going back to school. Tomorrow hopefully is the beginning of normalcy back into my life. I'll be having a more set schedule as far as getting out of the house, getting to the school, and with that getting to school, that means I'll be getting to the gym more often, 2 or 3 times a week. Just basically picking up from where I left off before all of the lockdowns happened. But I will put a caveat in here. I do notice that the cases just this morning I saw in Ho Chi Minh City was 2,800, and a lot of those are the Omicron variant cases, and that's a little bit alarming because Hanoi is really going through it right now. They had, I think, over 4,000 yesterday. It's really exploded up there. Whereas here in Ho Chi Minh City, we've been fairly low in numbers, but now that big one just took off. And I've noticed a trend with COVID cases is that the north will get slammed first, and then it'll come down south. With that being said, schools are open now, and that'll be, me going back into class in person. I'm not so call it COVID fatigue, but I'm honestly not that worried. Maybe I should be more worried than I am feeling, but I'm just over it. I just hate being in the limbo feeling, and I think a lot of us can relate to that feeling. So school's back in session, which means I have more hours at the school as well too. They cut my hours because of COVID, because they can smash classes together online, whereas in person you can't smash classes together and have effective courses. Then again, I don't really think as a whole the courses were all that effective with the smash class online, but that's another story. So yeah, gonna get my lesson prep done for today, for this week, print out my lessons and all that, get my computer ready, and yeah, basically get everything ready for tomorrow. We go back to school. How long that lasts, I really don't know. It's going to be a tricky one. I was reading in the newspaper yesterday that if your class has they call it F0 here in Vietnam, but if you have a student who is infected with the coronavirus, they are put into a temporary room that is isolated, and parents have to come and pick them up. And also I heard that students in your class, everybody has to stay home and study online, the whole class. So how that translates to what's this new eruption of cases in Ho Chi Minh City, I don't know. Will I be back here talking on this video about having to do courses back online in a few weeks? I don't know. Maybe Hanoi hasn't let their kindergarteners, I think their primary school, the elementary school, they haven't let them go back to school yet, but we have here. So it's gonna be, it's a real touchy situation, and we'll see how it goes. In other news, let's see. So last night after our meeting, we had breakout rooms after Zoom. We break out into groups of 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10, depending how the rooms are set up. I got into the room late because what happens is after they split the rooms, some people actually get left behind because of connection issues or room assignments. But anyway, the rooms are open, everybody gets scattered, and then like 3 or 4 normally stay back or get left behind, and then I have to manually put them into rooms. So I jumped into this room, everything was settled, jumped into this room, and I saw, oh, there's only 4 people in this room. Okay, that's great. So I go inside, it's 4 sisters all together. Jump inside, I say hello. Hi, how's everybody going? And then they said, oh, we're just sharing experiences. So I'm like, okay, my bad. Let me just turn my microphone off and sit back and listen. And this proved to be, I think, one of the highlights of having breakout rooms. Because during these conversations, it started off with this Bible study who's recently baptized. So she's our sister, I guess. Recently baptized, and she's been talking for the past few minutes already. By the time I got in there, she's been talking about how she had wished that she had known the truth a lot earlier in life, because she just was like, if I had known 20 years earlier, I could have avoided a lot of the heartaches that I went through. And she's like, my life has been hard. I have a tough life, and a lot of it's because of my past. And she's recently baptized last year, and just really like pouring it out to everybody in the room. And then she says, that's why I tell my kids, she's got 2 kids, I tell my kids, like, be grateful that you're learning it now, because if you learn the truth now, you avoid a lot of heartache in life. And she said, just look at me, look at mom. I can tell that to my kids, and my kids can get it, then hopefully they'll turn out better than I have. And so, yeah, it was really moving. And I wasn't really sure why she was sharing this until the next person started to speak. And this next person was not someone who's over 30. It's actually someone who's still in high school. It's a younger sister in our hall. And she says she really opened up, and I was just surprised, at the candidness of her words. Basically, she was saying that she tells her mom and her dad that she wished when she was younger she had told herself, I wish I never knew the truth, because she's out there, she's looking at all of her friends, and she never gets to hang out with her worldly friends. And she says, I really wish I could go out there and just be their friends and be a part of who they are. And like I tell myself sometimes, I wish I never knew the truth. And then she says, my mom and my dad, though, they tell me, like, you should be happy, or you should be grateful of knowing the truth. And mom and dad, we went through a lot of things, like Auntie here, who just talked about her experience. Mom and dad always tells me that I should feel that way, but I don't, and I don't. We had another person in the room, just kind of like sitting in the corner, just listening. And it was a perfect example of how in somewhere in Titus 2, how it talks about the older women can advise the younger women in the congregation. And I was so happy to just be a part of this room, because I literally was in a room of sisters, and I literally was like a fly on the wall. And it was so great to see. So this sister turns on her microphone and says, just really actively listening to this younger girl, and she says, what you're saying is totally 100% true, and like I can understand why you'd feel like that, and just really like just pouring into her. And then it became like a two-way dialogue between herself and this younger girl, and it just was like I just was sitting back and enjoying the teaching, enjoying the connections that were being made. And I thought to myself, like, this is one of the things I think, if we look back on it, and if somebody asked, like, what were the good things about Zoom, I think this is one of those rare occasions that I can say that this would not have happened if it wasn't for Zoom. And I say that because not that a bunch of sisters can't get together and have like informal or just really deep thoughts like this, deep talks with each other, but for it to happen right after a meeting, and to be very candid, and like it was literally after the meeting and it happens, and I think, well, I pulled more out of that conversation than I did out of the whole meeting, just a little bit before that. So being able to transport yourself into these smaller rooms, more intimate rooms, and thankfully, what happened was when the breakout rooms ended, because we have it for 7 minutes, when it ended, I got restarted, and the person arranging the rooms just redid the exact same room. So we ended up back in the same room together. So I'm like, wow, keep this party going. Yeah, that older sister, man, she had some good, wise words to share with the younger girl, and you could see it really connecting. And then the older sister's like, hey, like, newly baptized sister, where's your daughter? And her daughter, she's like, oh, she's right here off camera, right? She's right here. So hey, just invite her onto the camera. So her daughter sat right there, and those two girls are actually the same age with each other, and one grew up with the truth, and one is kind of learning the truth a little bit, but still fighting against it. But to have this younger sister who's grown up in the truth, to kind of share her struggles. I don't know how much of it landed with the other girl who's learning the truth now, but maybe she was thinking to herself, like, it's not that great. It really isn't. I wish she would say that. I wish she would say that. I wish maybe she was feeling that, or maybe she's realized that. I wish she had said, like, bang, like, don't feel that you're missing out on anything. You really aren't. You know, that would have landed even more so than the older sister. But anyway, yeah. So these two young girls just listening to this sister acting in the role of basically an elder. You know, just or not an elder, but just giving good, wise counsel, and using compassion and empathy and learning to listen well. And I really think it was a good thing we had these breakout rooms, and it was a good thing that the brother organizing the rooms made a mistake on the second round, because yeah, it was one of those wow moments as far as Zoom is concerned. And I thought about myself, like, I don't remember having those kind of deep conversations with a group of brothers, and I tried to think about it last night. Ever. I think a few times us brothers got together, but it was well past, like, when I was going through the thick of adolescence and puberty, and yeah, so I don't really remember a good powwow like that. So yeah, I'm kind of happy that it happened for those two, and yeah, one of those moments that you realize, because I was the one in the room, I've the one in the truth the longest. You know, I'm probably the only person in there that could say, like, I knew it when I was young. Everybody else in that room probably learned it when they were past 30 years old, but I was the one that went through it. But it wasn't my turn to speak. It really wasn't, and I had no problems just sitting back and enjoying the show, enjoying the teaching that they were doing for one another. Anyway, that's a long enough video. So today's Sunday, and we'll be back tomorrow morning getting everything ready. And if you've got some memories or thoughts you want to share about growing up and having somebody talk to you, leave that down in the comment section. And if not, then I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next video. Aloha, take care.